Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Divine Knowledge of the Ancient Ones. My name is Elizabeth and I'm here to provide a general reading. Hopefully it will resonate with you, whatever messages you need, perhaps some clarity on whatever it is you're experiencing in this now moment. And yeah, let's see what the cards have to say. I'm getting that some of you are struggling right now with the energies that are playing out. And so if this applies to you, then there's something in this message for you. I'm getting that healing is coming, but you have to stand firm in your faith and trust that despite what you're experiencing now, how you're feeling right now, that things are going to get better. Okay, so I'm going to pull about 6-7 cards. Okay, so let's see. So I've got the Hermit card here, and what I'm getting from this card is that some of you have been feeling isolated, maybe feeling alone. Some of you, this is intentional, wanting to just be in your own space, doing your own thing. And some of you have been kind of pushed into this space, feeling like no one is going to understand what you're experiencing right now. No one is going to relate to you right now. And yeah, so I'm feeling like some of you are in isolation and some of you are intentionally in this space. And with you feeling like you're in hermit mode, some of you are trying to understand what's playing out in your life currently, because you've been feeling quite unhappy and not really understanding why you're feeling that way. That's the energy I'm getting from that card. And this is causing some of you to feel quite emotional, and I'm getting an overwhelming sense of emotion where some of you feel like you're drowning in your feelings or drowning in whatever space that you're in right now. And you're just trying to understand like what the heck is going on. Some of you, I'm feeling, are going through an experience where perhaps you feel quite disconnected from yourself, quite disconnected from your emotions, and all of a sudden you're just crying all the time or just feeling quite low, and you're not really understanding why this is happening to you, because I guess some of you don't like the fact that you're in this space and you're trying to question like, why is this happening? I'm not this person. I'm just usually a person who gets up and go. And now I'm struggling to understand why doing the bare minimum is a struggle for me right now. That's the energy I'm getting. But I'm also getting that some of you that are in this space are trying to tap into your inner creative sense with this Ace of Wands. And perhaps some big ideas are coming and you're not feeling really confident in executing those ideas because you're wondering, how am I going to go about it? How am I going to connect with whatever this is that is trying to come my way? There's a confidence issue here is what I'm getting. It's like, oh, well, even though I have all these grand ideas and all this creativity is flowing, how am I going to execute it? I need support, and I feel like I'm so alone and nobody understands this path that is before me and that I'm trying to take. Perhaps people are questioning you and it's getting you in your feelings because you're like, well, this is what I feel called to do, but I don't really understand how I'm going to go about and execute it. You're also feeling like a level of inspiration is seeping through, but again, it's a confidence thing. And if this represents the fire element, and fire usually brings about inspiration, and you're trying to feel inspired, but at the same time there's a lack of confidence. Like, how do I go about doing what it is that I need to do, and also trusting the path that you're on right now. So I'm getting a huge, feeling isolated, feeling alone, not really understanding what's going on, or having all these grand ideas but not knowing how to execute them because you feel like people aren't going to understand this path that you're on right now. And I'm also getting the energy of the Emperor. Some of you are trying to tap into your inner masculine, and the feeling I'm getting is like you're trying to balance being in this space where you want to be that person that executes, but it's like you're overwhelmed with emotion. And so you're trying to understand, how do I stand firm in who I am, while at the same time manage this feminine energy, because I'm getting a very feminine energy here. And by the way, just because it's feminine doesn't mean that this reading won't relate to those with the male gender, because feminine energy is within females and males, just as masculine energy is within men and women. So I feel like those of you who are more centered in your masculine energy are trying to connect with the feminine inside of you, and those of you who are connecting with the feminine are also trying to connect with, tap into the whole masculine energy. But with this Emperor card, what I'm getting is like some of you are, because the Emperor sometimes can come across as someone who feels like they know it all, like this is the path I'm going to take, and I'm trying to be strategic, and I'm going to follow this goal. But you need this energy to kind of balance it out. You can't just be this, nor can you just be this. It's all about finding a fine balance between the two of you. But what I'm getting is an overwhelming sense of emotion for those of you who are very much in your masculine energy. And what this is trying to do is remind you of your softness, your vulnerability, and help you tap into those parts of you that are somewhat jaded with the feminine energy within you. And this might even be causing some of you to act out in a way that is not ideal, perhaps be even more dug into your masculine energy, which is very unhealthy, because you can come across as quite aggressive. And those of you who are leaning more towards the feminine energy, you're trying to tap into the masculine where you want to take action, but you're feeling so overwhelmed with these emotions, and you're kind of in a space where it's becoming a little bit depressive. So this one is more in his head, and this one is more in their heart. And what you're trying to do is find a balance between the two, because either of these energies is there to help you. But right now, you're kind of leaning into the toxic side of either of these energies, either too much into this where you feel like you're drowning, or too much into this where you're coming across as really aggressive. And even people around you that are trying to offer you advice are struggling, because they're thinking, why are you being so harsh? And why are you acting the way you're acting? And then that pushes you into this, and it's like you're trying to reject your inner feminine, and some of you are rejecting your inner masculine. And what I'm getting is that you need to just let things be what they are, because this is there to heal you, this is there to help you. But you kind of have to find the goodness in either of these energies, depending on where you're sitting right now, because this alone will not take you where you need to go. You need the feminine energy as well, and this alone is not going to take you where you need to go. You need the masculine energy as well. But it's like trying to find within yourself which one you're leaning more towards, and then honoring and appreciating the feminine aspect of you as well as the masculine aspect of you. And I'm getting, for those who are more masculine, this is happening to try and break down those barriers you've put towards love, because you can't be solely in this energy and attract the kind of love that you're wanting to attract. And a lot of you are quite sensitive people anyway. Even if you're sitting within your masculinity, there is a feminine aspect of you that you're rejecting, and you're being asked to honor her, because that is what is bringing about sensuality. That is the energy that you need in order to attract whatever you're trying to attract into your life, whether it's career, whether it's love, whether it's whatever, but just generally being in a space of peace of mind. And this is why the Hermit card is here, because you're in isolation, because you need to understand how these energies are playing out within you, because right now you're not really trusting yourself. And You're not trusting people around you, because even the ones that are kind of giving you an idea of what's happening with you, letting you know, hey, you're acting out and this is how you're acting, you're not really appreciating their perspective, because you're stuck in what it is you're thinking is the right way, and what you're being told is let your guard down and just let things play out however they play out, because it's happening for a reason. And all of this, when you think about it, this is about tapping into your inner magician. And this is what they're trying to bring about healing for you, because this is fulfillment of wishes. And this is kind of like your inner, balancing all the elements within you and giving you this space where you're in oneness. But you have to, in order for you to get here, you have to embrace both the feminine aspect of you and the masculine aspect of you. But the feminine is more about looking within, and the masculine energy is more about looking around you and kind of like examining and saying what is working for me versus what is not working for me. Yes, I have all these desires that I want fulfilled, but what is it that I'm doing right now that is blocking this path for me? I need to look more within and tap into that inner magician. And it's right there for the taking, but you have to honor both the masculine and feminine energies, and you have to try and find a balance in order for your desires to be fulfilled, is what I'm getting. And some of you are moving away from situations that don't serve you, moving away from people that don't serve you. You're moving away from all this stinking thinking and all these rugged waters into calmness and peace. But in order for you to really get there, you have to be okay with what is playing out within you right now, in the sense of, from the perspective of, okay, there's a lot that I'm feeling is kind of hectic and chaotic in my mind and in my heart. And I need to let go of control, trying to control everything and trying to make it to be how I want it to be, and just allow things to play out. There's an element of you having to go with the flow, and going with the flow is more being in your feminine energy. But then it's like, oh, but I don't want to go there because it's making me emotional, it's making me vulnerable. And, some of you are even thinking that vulnerability is not for me. Vulnerability is not my vibe, and it's not cool to be vulnerable. But really what you're doing is self-rejection. There is such a concept as self-rejection. And, the more you reject people around you or whatever is being brought forward to try and help you, the more you reject this wish fulfillment, and you recognizing the magician that you are, and that you are capable of manifesting the kind of life that you desire. But in order to do that, you need to find that balance between your masculine and feminine energy. They call it Eros Gamos. So you really need to just focus on what is it that is being separated from me. What is it that I'm being moved away from? And I need to trust the process and believe that this is happening for me. It's not just happening to me. And whatever ideas and notions are being brought forward for me to kind of help me move along this path and achieve that wish fulfillment, I need to trust it, I need to believe it, and I need to know that it's going to happen. And yes, it's not a good feeling. It doesn't feel good being in this space. But as I said, everything is happening for a reason. And so even though you feel like you're alone, like you're having to figure things out all by yourself, it doesn't mean that you are. You're not your feelings, you're not your behavior, you're not your emotions. These are merely trying to let you know, your soul is trying to tell you, okay, this is what's happening, and this is what I need to change in order to get that wish fulfillment. Because ultimately, for people, when people go into hermit mode, this is where I feel like your soul is like communicating with you and letting you know that some of your behaviors are happening perhaps because you've had past timelines where the situations that have brought you to this point have played out, and those timelines are playing in parallel. So just talk to your soul and ask your soul, what is it I need to know about this situation? Am I being a brute? Am I being overly aggressive? Am I being too controlling? Or am I being overly needy? Am I being needy and codependent? Where is this energy playing out in my life, and what do I need to address with myself about these energies, because these are kind of like the toxic ends of these energies, and you're being asked to just be honest with yourself about where you're playing these roles. And you could be doing both. You could be on the one end trying to control everything, and then on the other end being needy and codependent, and kind of self-abandonment as well. And so what I'm getting here is the heavenly realm is trying to guide you towards this. But in order for you to get here, there's a level of acceptance that is required within you to say, okay, yeah, I've been acting out and I've not been doing things the way that I need to do them. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because you don't know what you don't know, but when you do know, that's when you're required to make the necessary changes. And so these changes are quite important. And if you want to move away from the hecticness, the chaotic energies, and into something that is a bit more calm and just peaceful, then these are the things that you need to have conversations with yourself about, which is why you're in isolation. And just because you're in isolation, whether it's self-imposed or it's been put on you, doesn't mean that you're alone. The heavenly realm is with you and they're working with you, but you also have to allow them to do their part. Everything happens for a reason. If you're in a particularly difficult emotional situation or a difficult mental situation, trying to get out of your head and get into your heart space, it's happening for a reason. And you just need to sit with yourself and just have a good understanding of what is playing out within these energies, and be in acceptance of it, and just acknowledge and say, okay, I acknowledge that I'm being needy and that I need to change this within myself. I acknowledge that I am codependent and these are playing out in my relationships. What do I need to do to change that? And the answers will be brought to you. I acknowledge that I'm being controlling. Where is this showing up in my life? How is it showing up? And what do I need to do to change that? Because ultimately, where you want to be is here in wish fulfillment and being able to manifest whatever is coming into your life. But it's not going to be easy to do that if you're sitting in the toxic end of these energies. So that's kind of what I've got today in terms of the current energies. And I hope this message serves you. I know that I've been kind of dealing with some of these energies as well, going back and forth with my faith. And ultimately, this is also about standing in your faith and believing that no matter what's going on with you, whether you're at the codependent end or the controlling end, that the heavenly realm is supporting you and they're going to get you through this. But you have to sometimes allow yourself to sit in it and embrace it for what it is in order for the changes to manifest. And you need to allow the changes to manifest however they will manifest, and not try and control the outcome. Okay, well, that's it for me. I hope this message served you, and I hope that I wish you well on your journey, and I'm sending you omni waves of love and light. Okay, thanks. Bye.